believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you to another powerful edition of the Diversey GM Show Series, Season 4. We're already into the second week with our fifth episode. Like they say, time flies. We're moving and soon we would be 8 episodes young. And before I go any further, my sincere thanks to Diversey for backing us up, for putting where their money, where the interest of the industry is, to take the word the furthest. Season 4 is all about leadership, evolution, how general managers today are redefining excellence across segments, cities, and guest expectations. Our theme for the show this afternoon is the new luxury general manager, from custodian of assets to curator of experiences. Honestly, leadership for luxury today goes beyond bricks and balance sheet. It's about emotion, storytelling, talent, creating moments that guests remember long after they've checked out. We have 6 exceptional general managers joining us. Steering today's conversation is a seasoned hotelier with deep multi-market operational expertise. Please join me in welcoming Hemant Tenneti. Hemant is the Market Vice President for Marriott, South Asia, and he leads the South and East of India, as well as Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. He has a strong portfolio to drive. Welcome to the show, Hemant.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for letting me on the show. It is indeed truly an honor and privilege to contribute over the next 1 hour, talking to some fantastic talent that we have as a panel today. You're right, the fundamental role of a general manager has changed. All of us here on the panel will realize and relate with it. We've been through the transition. Today, it's about not necessarily just a custodian of asset, but you are an experienced designer. You need to have high emotional intelligence. You need to drive culture. You need to balance P&L. It's a lot more. And that applies to every single segment, not necessarily luxury, but luxury, I think, accentuates that element far more than others. So I'm delighted to be joined by a fantastic panel, 6 really distinguished gentlemen. And I just want to ensure that we have a great time and have fun. So let's dive in.
So let's with your permission, I'll just start rolling.
Sure.
And introduce all the general managers. Hemant, thank you. In fact, the honor is ours, right? Having you moderate and anchor this show is a pleasure. First one in is Ashwini Kumar Goyla, who's the Vice President Operations and Area GM for Delhi NCR, and the General Manager for the Radisson Blue Plaza, Delhi Airport, Radisson's first hotel in India. Welcome to the show, Ashwini.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh, for having me over here. And I think lovely to see we've already reached a season 4. So kudos to you and the entire team for driving such a lovely, engaging show throughout year on year.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ashwini. Next in is Harpreet Vohra. He's the General Manager of the Radisson Blue Faridabad. Welcome to the show, Harpreet.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna, and was so looking forward to this edition of the GM show. Season 4 is come, and kudos to you for putting this up together. And good evening to my fellow super speakers. Hello, Hemant. Hello, Ashwini.
I'm just front-ending, and the efforts lie with the team of BW and BW Hotelier. Next in, all the way from Hyderabad, is my friend Deeppreet Bindra, who's the general manager of the rather well-appointed the Westin Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, Deep.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you, Hemant. This is my second year. Really excited to be part of the session again. Last year was great fun and look forward to some meaningful conversations here. And wishing everybody all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Deep.
Thank you.
Next in is somebody who's just flown into India, right? Who's now beginning to dig his heels in after years in Sri Lanka. Elton Hurtis, who's the general manager of the Sheraton Whitefield, Bangalore. Welcome to the show, Elton, our first one together.
Elton, you're on mute.
Elton, you're on mute. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I was privileged to get a call from you.
Oh, no.
And I immediately jumped at the occasion. And like you rightly said, I'm back after 9 long years. In fact, my own country seems a bit alien to me. But I'm in a fantastic hotel, in a fantastic city. And I couldn't be more excited. The panel is fabulous. Again, Hemant is someone I've known for years. You've someone I've known for years. So I look forward to a very exciting afternoon and late and early evening.
Thank you so much, Elton. Next in is Anoop Pandey, all the way from Jaipur, who's the general manager of the Leela Palace, Jaipur.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you once again, Mr. Khanna, Mr. Tenneti, to have me over on this show. It's an honor. Like Deeppreet, second session for me also. And definitely this topic of experience curator is something very close to my heart, and I really look forward to the session.
Lovely. We look forward to some good time and good interventions by you. Next in is Vimal Verma, who's the general manager of the Anantara Jewel Bagh in Jaipur. Welcome to the show, Vimal.
Sir, thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Very delighted to be part of this discussion. Look forward for amazing, meaningful conversation.
All right. Now, with the permission of Hemant, I'll get rolling with the show. But before I hand over the baton to him, the proverbial baton, actually the mic, let me kick in with the first question for Hemant. Hemant, may I?
Sure.
From your regional vantage point, how do you see the modern luxury general manager's role evolving across people, performance, and guest experiences? And you've lauded over some of the finest properties, right? You've helmed them in. You know how the clock works. It's like clockwork. But luxury is something which drives this industry. People go spend big dollars to be in good luxury and good hands. Over to you.
Great. Again, good afternoon. When I look at this screen and look at all the general managers, vice presidents, multi-property general managers, and regional leaders, it is a thrill to see the talent. These are the reassuring times when we feel we are all in a good space. Otherwise, we all struggle for it. The role has changed. I agree, Bhuvanesh. It is clearly changed. Today, the general manager, in my view, is primarily the driver of culture. I had read somewhere that, when an organization needs to, the standards or operational excellence of luxury in an organization start to dilute when culture is documented and distributed rather than being transferred in person. Right? So sometimes I think we depend on processes so much. The personal connection of, our grandparents used to transfer stories to us and cultures to us and ethos to us. I think today's general manager has a similar role to play of transferring the value of experience and culture. And again, that goes to the culture around the customer, the culture around the associates, the culture around performance. The key word remains culture, right? You have to have performance, you have to have associates, you have to have customer. The second thing which I think is very critical in today's world, we're all business managers at the end of the day. We all work for organizations who are largely management companies. Right? Decision making is important. It is the most defining element for a general manager. Sitting on the fence is the worst thing we can do. We've all made some, what I call glorious, fabulous mistakes. All of us have. But I think all been successful in our roles because we have taken some decisions with risk, stood by it, and taken accountability for it. So I think that's the second one. Third, at the end of the day, we are, like I told you, we are business managers. We have to have experience-led culture, at the same time keeping a close eye on P&L. So pretty much an all-rounder. Tough ask, but that's the need of today.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be an entrepreneur. So
Absolutely.
you can make money for the organization and the owners as
Correct.
if you can make it for yourself.
Yep, absolutely. Completely agree. Cannot agree more.
All right. And you keep doing the right things. The money will happen. The business will happen. Over
Agree.
to you, Hemant. So
Sure.
let's kick in with the first question for the first general manager, and I shall take a back street and enjoy.
Bhuvanesh, thank you so much once again. Team, it's a
Pleasure,
delight.
sir. Pleasure, sir.
And Harpreet, since you answered the question, you picked up the call first on Bhuvanesh, we'll start with you. You have the
Yeah.
privilege of listen, you run a pretty busy hotel, and you've been doing it. You're pretty experienced general manager. I've never, in this panel, I've had the privilege of working with many of you. A couple of you have not worked with, but we've heard of each other. We are a small family as hospitality industry. We're really not with at large. Tell me, in your daily role and responsibility, right? We just spoke about the balance. How would you balance operational responsibility versus customer curation in a busy hotel like yours? What would you do?
Sure. Thank you, Hemant. But let me first agree to what you said. There's a saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
It does.
So to drive culture is very important. To come to your question, I don't see operational discipline and guest experience as two separate responsibilities. They, in fact, fuel each other. Yeah. I'm a hands-on leader, very present on the floor, because that's where the real pulse of the hotel is. I believe in leading from the front, but empowering from behind. Setting the direction, creating clarity, and then trusting my team to take ownership with confidence. Operational discipline ensures our systems run seamlessly, but my focus is on translating brand standards into lived, memorable experiences, rather than allowing them to remain guidelines on paper. I strongly believe in empowering my department heads, giving them ownership, trusting their expertise, and encouraging them to think like custodians of guest experience. At the same time, I personally take the responsibility, accountability of the entire end-to-end journey of a guest. From the first inquiry to post-stay feedback, I ensure there's accountability, warmth, and consistency at every touch point. For me, discipline builds the foundation, but meaningful experiences are what truly define a flagship hotel.
Amazing. That's so well put. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harpreet. And I think we can learn a lot from the way you're operating and leading a fabulous hotel. Congratulations. Deep, moving on to you. I know we spoke 3 days back. We keep talking to each other, but this is something I want to sort of always wanted to ask you. You work in a market, high-tech city, Hyderabad, where all the general managers are jealous of, right? You are in a market where demand is no problem. ADRs are no problem. You get the right customers, you get the right profile, you get the business. When it's all going well, how do you still make sure there's an emotion to the service? There is balance of still curating brand culture. Westin as a brand is a brand that believes in wellness, right? So when your P&L is sorted, how do you still bring in the culture of emotion and curating experiences, and how important it is? Deep, are you there with us?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Now we can. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Hemant. I think here, Westin Hyderabad Mindspace, speaking about Westin Hyderabad, luxury is defined by how the guest feel. I think that's where the ethos is. Our goal is to ensure that they leave feeling restored, balanced, and genuinely cared for. While brand standards definitely provide consistency, I genuinely feel it's the emotional connection that creates the lasting memory. That's where I think the entire resting piece is. Westin being a wellness brand, we focus on personalized experiences by understanding why guest is traveling, anticipating their needs, starting from sleep quality to the dining preferences, what they do. Every guest comes with a different intent, whether it's business, celebration, or leisure. It's a continuous process of guiding the team to read the emotional cues so that service becomes more intuitive rather than being transactional. That's where I think what we work as a team. Ultimately, I believe modern luxury is beyond service today. It is more to curate the right emotional experience. That's one. And that is what we strive to achieve every day at Westin Hyderabad Mindspace.
Amazing. Yeah, I think you rightly said. Again, going back to most of our hotels, many of our hotels in high demand areas, when business is coming in, it's all the more important that we manage the business through emotional connect and curated experiences. The brand standard, Harpreet said this as well, the brand standard plays an important role, but the brand standard, I always believed, has been the minimum standard.
Right.
I think it's up to us to sort of take it to whatever level we want, and a true general manager takes the decisions to do that. All right, moving on. Thank you, Deep. Thank you for that valuable insight. Moving on to Elton, who's back into the country after a fabulous stint in Sri Lanka, and he's done a great job there. Elton, whenever we walk into your hotel, Sheraton Whitefield, it's busy. There are people in the lobby, there are people in the convention center, there are people in the rooms. It's one of those factories which is churning morning, evening, night, right? And it's a largely corporate environment. You don't find leisure customers in your hotel. It's largely a corporate environment. In such an environment, when you have high volume business, going back to the same subject of balancing emotional quality or emotional service intelligence and making sure that there is curation, how do you do that in such an environment? Elton, over to you.
Thank you, Hemant. What a nice way to put my hotel. I think it's me. Wherever I go, the place starts to get busy, so that's a good thing. But everyone on the show, and we had such wonderful GMs giving such fabulous responses. They use the word curated. So for me as well, in fact, your last sentence had the word curate, and I just quickly Googled it, just to understand the definition of curated is, and I'll read it out. It says selected, organized, and presented using professional expert knowledge. Right? So in one simple phrase, if I have to answer that question, which was a very, very deep question actually, and actually deserves a much more deep diving, it is curated luxury. It's beyond the brand standard, as you correctly said. Yes, the Sheraton Grand Bengaluru Whitefield and Convention Center, Hotel and Convention Center is driven by fast-paced, corporate rhythm. But it's about layering. This is one hotel in Mayfair, in London. It's called the Connaught, and they run a two Michelin star restaurant there. It's called Helen de Grasse or something. I can't remember, but Helen definitely. And it's a luxury hotel, but it is a busy local hotel, much like mine. So how do you balance that? You have a lot of locals coming in, plus you have the business customer, you have the business traveler that, they basically need swift check-ins, they need interactive workspaces, internet speed connectivity, and yet you have to layer these conveniences with a lot of thoughtful touches. So it's about knowing your customer. In the morning today, I wrote a letter to a gentleman who's coming to me for the 17th time, and he's an ambassador elite, right? And I was just sitting and talking to him. I was like, why do you visit? I mean, I'm overwhelmed. That's how I approached him. And he said, because you guys have got it right. You'll know exactly what I want. You give me exactly what I want. You know that I will use the gym at a particular time. So the team here, and I can't take credit for that. Both you and Mr. Kava, you kind of given it away saying that I've just come here, right? So I can't take credit for this. It's a team, and they've understood the term curated luxury. I hope I've answered your question.
Yep, absolutely. I think what we are saying is understand the customer, extremely important, especially to a corporate traveler. It's very important to give what they want, not what we think
Correct.
they want, right? It's
Correct.
extremely important.
Someone, sorry to interrupt you, but someone coming after a long haul 21-hour flight, he doesn't want a welcome drink.
Yeah.
He just wants his bed, but he wants his bed the way he likes it, the way he's told us 100 times, and that is what curated luxury is. actually caring for that gentleman as if he's one of your own blood.
Amazing.
You know?
Thank you. Thank you, Elton, for great.
And also, Hemant, if I may add over here,
Sure.
relationships make a lot of difference.
It does.
Correct. Spot on.
One general manager may come in, the other one's gone out, but then there has to be continuity.
Yes.
It's about maintaining the legacy, Mr. Khanna. It's about maintaining
Absolutely.
the legacy that has been created, respecting the fact that you do not have to ruffle the apple cart every time. Sometimes you just go with the flow.
Excellent.
Apologies for butting in. Yeah.
No. Talking about legacy, let's move to Mr. Anoop. Anoop, lovely to meet you after so many days, firstly. Contrasting to what the previous gentleman spoke about, a busy, hectic corporate hotel, he has a customer that comes to you who can change his or her mind every 20 minutes about what they want, or sometimes they don't even know what they want. They just want to be pampered, right? Through luxury resort style or a large wedding or any of the events. There also there's pampering.
Yeah.
Leela is known for protecting the legacy of luxury, especially in Indian heritage style. That's how Leela has been always functioning in that space. So just talk to us about it, right? How do you guys, what helps you who you are? The Leela Jaipur has created outstanding benchmarks over the last few years, and you continue to sort of take it forward. Just talk through your perspective around the subject that we are discussing right now.
Great. No, thank you, Hemant. And it is indeed privilege to have this interaction with you after long indeed. Yes. Jaipur, I think the first thing which comes to everyone's mind the moment you hear Jaipur is heritage, right? And I think what's important to understand definitely from a context of Jaipur as a city, I would say it's one of the most celebrated cities our country have, right? Jaipur itself, if you ask me, for me, it's now 7 months. I can comfortably say the city itself is a living museum of legacy. And trust me, it's not only the architectural brilliance. Definitely, there are many forts and temples which dated back to centuries. But definitely, beyond the architectural brilliance, there is culinary, there is art, there is folk music. So there is lots which is there in this city, or rather Rajasthan as a state. Hemant, to your point, definitely, I totally agree. All of us at the Leela, we consider heritage not just as a decor, but it's truly an emotion for us. As Vice President, General Manager of such great asset palaces, our responsibility is more not to just preserve the building, but, preserve the whole heritage as a feeling. So happy to share, few of the things which we particularly do at our palace here at Jaipur. And the whole idea with my team is not to just take architecture as storytelling. It's more than just a storytelling, right? So I'll share a few of the activations which team has done here at Jaipur. We have an Indian restaurant called Jamawar, and that place itself, the restaurant itself, is tribute to the Sheesh Mahal at Amber Fort. The restaurant is lit up only by candles. It has 2.5 lakh pieces of glass with 18-karat gold work, and it beautifully lit every evening just by candle with no artificial light at all. Right, so that's one of our way to give a tribute to Sheesh Mahal at Amer Fort. Also a lot of time our guests, they are so tight on schedule because of time constraints. They're not able to go to the city. So what we do, we bring the whole Jaipur city to our palace, right? So we do block painting workshop. We arrange for a camel polo because I have a large, lawns. We do blue pottery. We do heritage walks for them. So I think these are the few activations which we do to really celebrate the whole Jaipur heritage and culture in our palace. But one recent activation which I would like to share with this group over here is, earlier this month we opened our rooftop bar that's called the Amber Terrace, which has a great unparalleled view of the range. And we have come up with very unique cocktail program called Root to Fruit. right? The idea is again the Aravali as a range. The soil is mineral rich, and in ancient time we used to have the ancient botanical healer, which we used to call them Veds. So we have come up with this unique beverage philosophy of using the entire plant, whether it is root, stem, leaf, bark, fruit, and flower. And we use that, and this is more of our tribute to this land of Aravali where we are situated. So these are the few activations because I think all of you have already touched upon, but today's traveler, they really value authentic interactions and something meaningful connection. And I think that's these are the few activations where we are trying to bring it to life at Jaipur.
Anoop, you couldn't have put it across better. I totally, completely agree with you that authentic local curation done in a way which is luxury is what the travel is looking for. Authentic experiences cannot be replaced. You've already sold me your rooftop bar. I look forward to coming there pretty soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. Looking forward.
Staying with Rajasthan, moving on to Vimal. I know Vimal of being a city boy. I see, every time you go out with Vimal, he'll take you to the best Michelin places, late nightclubs, high energy, right? And now he's landed up in Anantara, in Jaipur, and this is a life which is, I'm assuming, very different. However, has the similar DNA that you possess, Vimal, that I know of you, of curation, of making sure that the customer delight is at center of it. So talk to me about you talk about experience through design. Just talk to about it, when you say, and I'm going to stick to curation. Elton talked about curation as a definition, right? So your perspective of it, Anantara is generally highly experience led, especially the design of Anantara is meant to be very, very experience led. So just connect with us the design of the hotel, the curation bit, and how you're connecting. And you can't repeat what Anoop just said. So he wins over you. You'll have to find new experiences. Just kidding. Go ahead.
No, thank you, sir. Yes, the curation is one of the most strong elements, and I must tell you before even I start that please do visit Amber Terrace. I went to that space, and so called as my urge of having a great rooftop bar, which has got a core concept. I think they've done a really, really great job on that. Because there are some times where you curate concepts with thoughts as a tribute to the city, but our understanding of cities could always be different, how we think about it. But I think what Anoop and team has done is phenomenal about it. So, yes. Coming to curation part and Anantara as a brand also, I think Anantara's one of the core element by default remains that it's experience driven by design. That's the core brand value also. But what makes it very, very different is that curation is a very subjective term. More and more you get immersive into the cities. Now, it gets more interesting, especially when you come into a city which is actually popular as more as a destination than anything else. Because curation, it gets very different because it's all about consciously trying to make sure that you select the elements that are impressive by all the sensory modes to either a guest. But to drive the guest part of it, you need to make sure that that curation part also flows down to your teams. You have to be leading that people part as well, more so, right? Because especially when we were setting up our hotel, first brand-led hotel in the country, the ambitions were two, that yes, most of the heritage luxury hotels which are there in the city are already doing quite a bit in terms of establishing themselves into luxury parameter, curating different experiences. But what went really different was that sometimes when you do right curated experiences, which are joint ventures, because that's where the first and the foremost learnings do come across. To give example, yes, as Anoop mentioned also, right, blue pottery, camel polos, very cultural heritage driven things. But then there are curated artisans, right? They make a difference to it. When you start setting your segment up, curation is a core element, and that is the driving force of distinctive luxury that you want to probably eventually set your hotel as a benchmark to. Because there is no dearth of luxury hotels in this wonderful city, and the pipeline, especially driven by Marriott also, is quite humongous. It's going to be there. More and more hotels are coming up, right? But every hotel will strive. There are 10 common things that we all will do. But when you start doing partnerships with these local artisans or local ethnic things, they became the true, genuine curated elements that someone is going to be more popular or renowned or distinctive about. To give you a small example, we ended up meeting Jaipur rugs is quite famous for, and I think it's one thing that everybody. I had the lovely privilege to meet Mr. N.K. Chaudhary, right? The man's like a case study by Harvard or IIM Ahmedabad, you name it, and he's a case study there. Wonderful part what he says that Vimal, we see luxury hotels, but if they can make luxury Rajasthan being seen through them, because they are the gateways of experience to anybody who comes to your country or a state. And I couldn't probably even debate a second note of his words over there. So curation, I think the most defining element in every hotel experience. As a GM, you are the biggest custodian of that, because you should be able to drive that first within your team by leading example. Eventually that gets driven down to the guest, and I think that's where the hotel positioning and every benchmark aspect comes into it. So yeah, I think curation and curiosity both are the main driving factors for GM or a daily work routine that I would kind of define too.
Amazing. No, Vimal, thank you. Moving on from Rajasthan, Ashwini,
let me just take a short commercial break. We're at the midpoint.
All right.
Intermission time, with all respect to you. Yeah, 30 seconds, Hemant. 30 seconds. Yeah.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Thank you. Sorry, Hemant, I had to just come in. My apologies.
I'm glad there are some exciting responses coming from the general managers. It's all going great. Ashwini, not last, but
before I slip in one with Ashwini, I have one parked for you.
Sure.
With your permission. All right. So tell me, Hemant, this is something which is extremely important. We're making good money, but we have to manage rising costs, talent churn, and demanding guests.
Yes.
What, because these are such important parts that we don't know what's going to hit us.
Sure.
So tell me, what separates good general managers from truly future-ready luxury leaders? Because these are all challenges which have to be managed by entrepreneurs.
Okay. 3 or 4 things. At least that's my view.
Yeah.
First and most importantly, we need to have emotional intelligence. Today is about empathy leadership. There is no second substitute to empathy leadership. And that's going to continue, especially with the current generation. The second most important thing, which in the past was not the focus, but today is at the core, you need to be bloody good in your financial acumen.
Agree.
You cannot escape and excuse yourself saying, I'm not strong in finance. You need to be an entrepreneur. You need to learn finance. It's extremely important. The third, I think, is adapting yourself very quickly. We are in a VUCA world. There's a Operation Sindoor coming tomorrow. There's something else coming today. There is there's a sudden burst of AI. We were discussing about the rates in Delhi before this, the AI Intelligence Summit, which takes up the right rate. So the world is changing so dynamically and there's so much data available. Your adaptability to how quickly and nimble are on your feet, decision-making ability. I think these 3 things define a true luxury general manager who can then curate based on them.
The good thing is that every day is a new day for a general manager. So there's a brand new opportunity to correct what you couldn't manage the previous day.
Yes.
But the future thinking general manager is somebody who's already thinking of what he needs to manage.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It's
All
extremely important.
All right. So back. Yeah.
We can continue with this with Ashwini now.
Yes, absolutely. Back to you.
He's been waiting in the wings for a while. Now, last but not the least. Ashwini, of all the jobs that you manage, you have a larger role, but I want to focus it on the hotel where you're based out of, right? You manage what we call bread and butter hotels. right? They're often seen as cookie cutter, money churning, high volume airport hotels, right? They make the maximum profits. The GOPs are amazing. The ADRs are great. The business is busy. In this kind of an atmosphere, where the purpose of visit sometimes, and I'm taking purely as an airport for example, though your hotel works in multiple facets, I understand it, the where you're based out of, but how do you then going back to the same subject of curating, how do you then sort of manage this business and then look at a hotel like this and say, this is a transit customer largely, what can I do for them?
Hemant, thank you for this year. Yeah, yes, you're right. Airport hotels operate in the most demanding environment over here. The guest, it's high volume, short stays, emotionally drained guests. You've taken long flights coming all the way. You go through the immigration, the airport, the traffic, and finally you're at the hotel. So, it's not about grand gestures like my other super speakers, Anoop and Vimal mentioned. It's mostly about precision and emotional intelligence over here at the airport hotel. So for us, luxury is all about precision, emotional intelligence, delivered at speed. So first, what we focus is brilliant basics. Something what Elton mentioned, very similar, is that we don't that there is no time for a guest to have any kind of friction. The room must be ready, billing must be accurate, wake up call must be on time, exactly when requested, transportation must run on time. When the basics are executed brilliantly, the guests feel calm and in control. So that calmness is a true form of luxury for our guest. Second is that we know what is important for us is speed, because since the time is short, we don't have much of touch points that we are able to kind of deal with our guests upon. So what is important is speed with warmth. We have to give the keys in half a minute or in 1 minute, but at the same time giving an instant recognition to the guest, saying that welcome back, we've got your room ready, we've got that, we've got the uh, Wi-Fi, or we've got whatever the guest would need is already ready. Or you need an extra pair of duvet, we have that. Or extra pair of slippers, we have that. So that helps the guest to that I've come at a place, I've been coming here, they know what I want, and it's already done. So they don't have to ask for it again. That's luxury over here. Third is staff empowerment. Our teams over here, we have something called guest allied champions. So, they are empowered to take the decisions that I can take. What's the point of them to say, let me check and come back to you? They can do whatever it's required to please the guest, including comping a night. That's the empowerment we have, because the guest should feel that I don't have to wait for the team to come back to me. And if something is not gone right, they take accountability, responsibility, and then they do it. So, and of course, last is we are not just selling rooms, we're selling relief. So the charging points, if we know exactly where the charging points the guest wants, the TV remote to be on the bed or on the writing table, a clear shuttle coordination, the curtains to be blocked for the guest. If this kind of things are done before the guest comes in, the guest feels that the hotel cares for me. This is luxury. I do not need 5 people standing with me or kind of picking up my baggage. I'm absolutely fine to do that as long as you can get these things right. Basic things like something we've got a program in our Radisson Hotel group called the Wow, which is, at night we offer during the turn down service hot chocolate or a turmeric milk. It just makes our guests feel very, very welcome. We don't have the luxury to curate some experiences like how Anoop and Vimal have been able to do in their hotels. But for us, even giving a hot chocolate and a turmeric milk at night is a true form of luxury for our guests. So it's all about precision, anticipation, and human warmth, delivered with speed. That's what I would call luxury for us.
Amazing. That's a fabulous way of sort of encapsulating the intent. Do it fast, do it right, do it well. It's amazing how predictability is luxury here to wow, and surprise and delight is a luxury in Jaipur. That's how our world changes. And it's the same customer many times, right? So it matters where you are and what you are doing. Amazing. Moving on. Harpreet, back to you this time. And these are specific questions. And I want you to think through as we sort of go through these questions there. One leadership habit that you think helped you the most, one specific habit that you inculcated over the year, Harpreet, that has helped you the most to become, to really experience curator from an operational manager?
Well, even the leadership habit that truly helped me evolve beyond pure operations is practicing conscious presence every single day. While operational excellence remains critical, I make it a point to stay connected. not just with guests, but with my teams across departments. This daily connect, whether through guest interactions or team huddles, keeps me aligned with the hotel's real-time energy, rather than just performance reports. Building a listening culture has been transformative. When people feel heard, from frontline associates to department heads, they take greater ownership and contribute more meaningfully. It shifts the hotel from being process-driven to purpose-driven. I also focus heavily on coaching frontline teams instead of simply reviewing their reports and performances and outcomes. I invest time in guiding behaviors, decision making, and both operational discipline and guest experience are elevated together. For me, the shift actually happened when I stopped managing functions in silos and started curating the overall rhythm, the culture, as we spoke earlier as well, and the performance of the entire hotel changed and elevated.
Amazing. That's a great way of looking at it, Harpreet. Thank you so much for your inputs. Deep, moving on to you. We all talk about metrics. Metrics are important for us. Business metrics, balance scorecard metrics, targets. If there's one metric that is more important or more valuable than RevPAR, what would that be? Especially in your hotel, I think it's relevant. I'm asking you this question. RevPAR is a given for you. So what is a metric that will really give you the satisfaction when you look at it and say, these are the things that really give me the true happiness of the subject that we're discussing about?
Yeah. So I think, thank you, Hemant. First and foremost, RevPAR is I think one of the most important aspects that we work on. But apart from that, I think in today's world, loyalty is something that takes a front seat. One profitable stay is great, but what truly matters is whether the guest comes back again and again. In our case, when you look at specifically a hotel which is in the hub, a technical hub like Mindspace, we have been seeing 75% of our business is repeat business, right? How is that we're going to capture that? How is that we multiply business is what takes ahead as a hotel, right? I think by end of the day, we survive on delivering the right experience consistently and in line with our brand standards. And when the guest returns, that is a clear sign that what we have truly delivered is the value to a customer. Loyalty, I think when you look at it, it lowers the acquisition cost. That's definitely there. Increases lifetime value, builds organic advocacy. That's, I think, the biggest thing in today's world. And without having to chase it by spending some extra bucks. So definitely loyalty takes the front seat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving that insights to general managers who run these hotels, which are business district hotels, and how we can sort of look at the true metric that really matters. Return of a guest is the most important thing. That's when they know that they're comfortable and they're getting the experience they want. Anoop, moving on to you, I've known you for a few years as a leader who's very people-centric. Your leadership style has always been very inspiring. I'm curious to know, in your role as the VP and GM at Jaipur, what is that one experience that you have curated on your property which aligns with your leadership philosophy?
Great. Thank you, Hemant, for the compliment first. Honestly, I'm someone, as I said at the starting of the show, this topic of curating experiences is something very close to my heart ever since I've, started in the industry. So for me, it's always about, identifying something unique with my team, something which is very relevant to the place we are operating in, which in current case is Jaipur. And how we can present that, like Elton spoke about curating something for our guest, and how we can present it to our guest in a way that's feel both privileged and personal. Leela, as a company, we operate in pure play luxury space. It's always our endeavor that how we can continue to move beyond service excellence and more towards experiential distinction. So that's the whole philosophy which I continue to drive with my team here at Leela Palace Jaipur. So there are many experiences, Hemant, but one such experience which I would like to share, which we executed earlier this month. We hosted the Leela Maharaja Savai Mansingh Polo Cup. Now, polo is something which is been intrinsic part of Jaipur's royal legacy. in this part of the world, polo is more than a sport. It is more of a celebration of the skill, workmanship, tradition. We were privileged that the Maharaja of Jaipur himself, His Highness Padmanabh, is actually the captain of our Jaipur polo team. Curating an experience for our guest where our guests can actually have an intimate interaction with the players, including the HH himself, and not just experience polo from the stand, but actually from a circle of tradition itself. I think that's one unique experience. As a team, we really take pride. And, as I was sharing, opening of the rooftop bar with our unique route to food philosophy, these are the few experiences which we continue to curate for our guests. So, one such experience is the polo, which we recently hosted. Yes.
I'm so looking forward to coming there, Anoop. I don't want to move from palace to palace, so I'll go back to a corporate hotel. Elton, over to you again. How do you sort of keep the teams inspired? And I know I've worked with you closely. You are an inspirational leader, but tell me that one trick where you sort of maintain consistency of making sure luxury service becomes a routine. How do you make that happen through your leadership style? What is the one tip that you would give?
So, Hemant, for us, it's very, very simple. Mr. Marriott said it to us when we joined him in, I don't know how many years ago. He said, success is never final, right? He said, keep pushing the bar. So, for us, honestly, service being luxury, non-luxury itself does not become a routine. But, that being said, I actually get where you're coming from, because sometimes if a customer keeps coming back again and again, it could become routine, and sometimes familiarity breeds content, and Ashwini said it right. He said it, emotional intelligence. But Anoop, I think, stole the show today. I want to just fly there with your permission tonight itself and visit his rooftop
You're
bar.
most welcome.
I think everyone wants to go there, but one of our very, very senior leaders said this once, when I was opening the Marriott Veligama, and everyone told me that it's going to be uber luxury, and although it's a Marriott, it's definitely going to be a luxury, and it did. So I asked him. I was on a GM's call. In those days, we had access to big bosses, right? So I asked him, what are the few things I should be doing? And he said, just hire right. Make sure you train the people you hire, imbibe the core values, and retain your people. These three things for me have always been a mantra, because once you train the people that you retain the people that you've spent so much of time and energy to train. And of course, hiring is not cheap these days as well, right? They understand the empathy part of the entire guest journey. The emotional intelligence. You can't buy emotional intelligence, Hemant. You know that. I know that. Everyone sitting on this panel, all senior GMs and vice presidents, if you may, right? You can't buy it. So before I go, if I may just say that, for me, luxury is broken down into three distinct types of hotels. There's one which is, very similar to Ashwini and mine. It's the business luxury, where, you just need to get it right. You need to get it right. You can't be playing around with a customer that's coming back to you again and again. He's chosen you. He's paying those rates because he believes he's going to get it right. Then comes the resort luxury. This is where someone's coming to rejuvenate. Someone is actually coming to de-stress or detox. And that's where you get your spa experience, or you get what Anoop is saying about this gorgeous bar that he has. And then you have the destination luxury. That's a bucket list type of
Elton, you've got mute.
We've lost you. We've lost
So
you.
in two of the, like you said, Hemant, in the very beginning, it's probably. I'm back. I mean, you can hear me? Yeah. So I said that, it's probably the same customer, and you said this very early in the conversation. But, the business luxury hotel customer is probably going to come back to you again and again, and that's where the fear lies. So again, I'm going to just round it off by saying hire right, train well, and retain your people and love them, man. Really, really love them. And they're going to finally understand the empathy part of it.
Amazing. Consistent in hiring right and retaining them. Bhuvanesh, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
No. Perfectly right. It's the people. It's the
Absolutely.
people. It's the people. It's the people.
Always, always.
You're going to be as good as the people you hire.
Correct.
100%. 100%. Moving on to you, Vimal. We've always known you to be a very creative person. There's no question on that. How do you balance commercial discipline with creativity?
I feel, thank you first of all for letting me have the tag of being more creative. But I think my part of my understanding of creativity actually comes and is always driven by anyone who's passionate for things. Creativity is an offshoot of someone being overly passionate for any stream it could be, right? Um, and the balance is quite important. But the most amazing part, while creativity and any commercial balance is all about sustaining things, but good part is creativity usually is misled sometimes to be linked with commercial ability in terms of spending or probably kind of adding value through higher experiential part of it. While there is some part that for sure is because. But majority of the creative elements which are related to experiential part of the guest or even for the teams that we all kind of live for are all about making meaningful gesture decisions that are required, right? There's a fair balance, I think, as a general manager or a property leaders or brand custodians that we are, whichever positions we kind of hold. It's always a very fair balance, and it could be as good as seasonal also, right? Sometimes the commercial aspirations in the busier seasons do overtake any kind of creative decision that have to be done through. But the fundamental remains that if creativity remains a part of your culture as a hotel or a brand, I think it gives you most strong foundation to be making very strong commercial decisions because creativity is experience led, and that is the one that is a very distinctive guest differentiator for you, for them to choose the hotel or for them to keep coming back to that hotel. So fair amount of balance, that is always important because everybody in today's time with the social medias, with the AI utilization, they sometimes know more authentic about the things that you want to create for them as an experiences. So you have to be more genuine, rational in terms of that commercial viability too as well. But I think they both work hand in hand. You know, you could always and always. I think when you start looking at whether it's a luxury hotel, non-luxury hotel, or a business-driven hotels, nowadays the lines are blurring. There are great business hotels who have a tremendous great amount of luxury aspects of creativity and innovation that they kind of do. So the lines in the categories of hotels are blurring up. But one common thing that continues to remain, that more creative you are able to sustain higher commercial ability as a general manager. So I think that's what I kind of put across through.
Muted.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you so much, Vimal. We are coming towards the end of the show, but I do want to make sure that I end it with Ashwini. It was the first.
Hemant, I want to make one point. Vimal was just speaking about commercial discipline. You were querying him on that. I've seen a lot of general managers in their anxiety to pick up ADRs, right? To fill up their rooms, they drop rates. It's so much easier to drop rate than to pick them back again.
Always true.
Right? Somewhere you need to hold fort and stay strong that this customer won't go. And even if he goes, let him go. But my hotel won't sell for anything lower than this.
Completely agree. And all the general managers on this call, if I know them well, they'll never.
I think we all agree.
You have to hold on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because coming back is never easy.
No,
You
no.
can't come back from that.
Yeah.
Ashwini, last but not the least, once again, I think you handle a bigger portfolio. You have a larger area, a scope of responsibility. What would be your advice to aspiring GMs who want to be you?
Hemant, what I think some of the points you had also mention. First is emotional maturity, because as it was mentioned, Bhuvnesh mentioned, and Elton mentioned, and yourself, it's about people both in terms of guest and teams. So that's what a GM has to be able to manage both sorts. Both have their own expectations, and one needs to be able to balance that under pressure is what one is. Second is commercial acumen. Again, Vimal mentioned commercial acumen. You also mentioned financial acumen. I think because a GM's not only a host anymore now, be it at the luxury or any other hotel, and especially in the luxury hotel, he's also a strategist. So understanding revenue, cost controls, forecasting, profitability, and sustainability is something which is very important. Third is the curious. Somebody mentioned curated, somebody mentioned creative. I would also add a word called curious. Be ready to learn always, and always evolve in terms of technology. We're having the AI summit right now. So, that's something how you can combine that without losing the lux element out of your hotel. And last but not the least is resilience. I think that was something, Hemant, which you picked up, that, ops sindoor will happen, issues will come in, there'll be black swan events. The challenges are going to come, but, consistency, adaptability in these difficult times is something which today a leader should be able to manage and move on. So, for me, the luxury GM would be somebody who can combine heart, intellect, and endurance, the delivering excellence, which is not just in service, but also in the overall things which he's able to do. Thank you.
It is the best job in the world, like I keep saying, the general manager. There's no better job. It was fabulous having conversation. We're not over yet. I got one more round where I really need you to think of one word, and I'll explain that very quickly.
Yep.
But it was so good to see each one of you come up with your version of what curation in luxury means. But the common themes that stand out are emotional maturity and intelligence, people-centric focus, adaptability, financial acumen. We hear about these words in our daily life. I think the key is to absorb them and look at them consciously and make sure that you're following these values. I think that's the key purpose. And thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for adding value to it. Before all of you leave, the next is a rapid fire, if I may call it. We've discussed for the last 57, 58 minutes now. And as you close off, one word with all the subject that we have discussed today, one or two words, I'm limiting it to one or two, that come to your mind is what you want to leave with the audience that are going to see this and are seeing it right now as general managers and advice for the general population of hoteliers who are aspiring to be. We can start with Harpreet.
Hemant, that will be for me, for sure, purpose-driven excellence.
Amazing. Excellence. Thank you so much. Deep.
For me, human luxury will be an emotion.
Okay.
That is where I think I feel the industry is moving forward, and all of us need to be cognizant about it.
Thank you. Elton.
You're muted. Elton, you're muted.
I said I'm going to go. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go with the most popular word used today is curated excellence.
Okay. Thank you, Elton. Anoop.
For me, probably it will be living heritage.
Yep. Apt to where you are. Vimal.
I would say passionate and eager. I think these two words are core essence.
Right. Thank you, sir. Ashwini, the last word, but not the least. Go ahead,
Well,
sir.
I would say operational elegance. That's
Like
where
it.
I'm going with that.
Like it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a privilege, absolute privilege
It's
moderating
absolute
this.
privilege.
Over
Good
to you,
to-
Bhuvanesh. I couldn't have asked for a better session. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Let me have you, why don't you sum it up, or do I sum it up for you, sum up the show? So
I'm happy to sum it up. Listen,
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to sum it up by saying that, firstly, a very relevant subject. It sounds like it's a common subject, but what we fail to understand at times is the word curation is sometimes overused to things which are not related, and also sometimes not understood as well. what Ashwini curates, to what Vimal curates, to what Deep curates, to what Harpreet curates is equally important and equally significant. Understanding the customer is the only thing that matters, and giving the what the customer wants is what today customer is looking for, and they're going to pay you the value for it. I think that's what everyone said, and we all know this. Hire the right people, drive the culture. You are the custodians of culture as general managers. There is no one else in the building that you operate out of who can drive culture better than you. Transfer the culture, not document and distribute. That would be my advice. In person is the best way to do it. We spoke about the old style of doing it. And have fun as a general manager. It's always very important. Bhuvanesh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
You know, you just a few moments ago, you said it's the best job in the world.
It is.
You know, it truly is for all those people. I'm not from the industry. 12 years ago, I got into it by accident and how. I'm almost more than half a hotelier. But let me tell you, this is a brilliant career for people who are still trying to figure out what to do. Right? This industry pays you well. It gets you to travel the world, travel the country. It gets you to rub shoulders with stars and celebrities, with royalties and heads of state, right? Great food, the way you dress up, the way you carry yourself along. I think it's a fantastic career. And it has to be your number one career option. Look at all these 7 gentlemen on your screen. Don't you want to be in their shoes? And I must tell you, they don't come cheap. Right? It's a great career. Having said that, while you've been a great moderator, Hemant, fantastic moderator, we are blessed to have you take this show and lead it. And also you'll be watched. I must also tell you that not just Hollywood and Bollywood, not just movies, this industry tells you the real stories and gives you the best experiences.
Yes.
Right? For anybody who comes there, each hotelier has their own story to share. What is it that I'm going to give you as a package?
Yep, absolutely.
Tell me, Hemant.
100% agreed. We sort of, I mean, we are fabulous storytellers. All of us will vouch for it.
Absolutely.
We can come up with a story in the middle of the night, morning, evening. We've all had situations where we've had to make our stories. So, but I would say, going back to what Anoop said, and going back to what some of you said, authentic, local rooted storytelling, authentic, local rooted experiences, genuine care. Is what is going to change. That's the difference between luxury and non-luxury.
And no shortchanging.
No shortchanging. Yeah, absolutely.
No shortchanging. So excellent. I'm so blessed to have you all on the show. I keep saying that. Unlike you, who are going to be on one show, I'm going to be on 36.
Amazing.
Right? And let me tell you, I sit back.
You have the best job in the world, not us.
Well, let me tell you, I sit back and say, Jesus Christ, look at these guys. How do they run these mammoth ships worth crores of rupees, which have taken years to build? Right? So great skippers, great captains, do a great job. Hemant, thank you again. I'm sure all the 6 general managers on the show will put their hands together for some fantastic moderation by Hemant. Yeah, Hemant, thank you so much. God bless you. Keep coming back, keep encouraging us. And before I go away, I want to thank 2, Diversey, for putting their money on the show and taking the show the furthest. If it wasn't for them, I would have still done it, but I wouldn't have been able to take it so far. Right? Thank you, Diversey. And thank you to Team BW and BW Hotelier, who churn out shows, who do the deep end of scheduling and all the detailing of content and curation. Thank you so much. And before we go away, the Diversey video, and then we do the final honors.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one moment.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Hemant, Elton, for coming back for your first show. Thank you so much, Anoop, Ashwini, Harpreet, Deep, and am I missing somebody? Yeah, that's about it. And Vimal. Sorry, Vimal, my apologies. See you all soon. God bless you. Godspeed. And may this industry go far. May this industry go really far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.